Welcome back. Here's Mike Adamle.
Here at Universal Studios, Florida, the Ultimate Inline Challenge presented by Rollerblade continues. Street course competition underway. This is Josh Clark, just 15 years old from Frankston, Australia.
Josh is such a technical skater, coming off of a whole bunch of wins at home in Australia.
He won an under-16 event, an open competition, and also an international show. Very talented.
That was a very difficult trick right there. That's called a soyal. Taking his front foot and actually torquing it back toward his back foot.
Right now, countryman Matt Salerno has the score to beat, 62 points even.
And that's called an alley-oop macchio. It's a very difficult trick. It's actually coming in and then turning alley-oop, or turning away from his body and landing on it backwards. Nice 540 transfer.
10 seconds, Josh. 10 seconds.
10 seconds remain for Josh Clark.
And there's a torque sole. The evolution of grinds has just gone up immensely in the past year. Now they're taking their feet here. Look at his left foot. It's bending in toward his back foot, and a nice spin on the 540.
But Josh having a little difficulty dealing with this high humidity here in Orlando. How good is this field? Well, two inline superstars didn't make the cut. Chris Edwards and Arlo Eisenberg.
It's pretty simple. There's nothing mysterious about it. My first run wasn't that good. My second run I thought was pretty nice, and, you know, was rewarded duly by the judges. But the first run was just bad enough to keep me out, I think, by a couple of places. I think I ended up like 13th.
Ready now for the next skater in his first run, Ben Jagger. That sixth-place finish he had last year in New York, his first pro competition. This is just his third. And for Arlo Eisenberg, some consolation, we're going to let him call Ben's run.
Okay, here's a testament to how international this sport's getting. Ben Jagger, all the way from England. And these guys weren't even in the competitions last year, but already they're here and dominating the sport. That's one of the latest tricks. It's a forward soyal. Some of these tricks, like the difference between a soul grind and a soyal is very minor, and it's hard to notice. But the difference in the latest, most technical skaters and yesterday's tricks. Ben's going to set up on top of the starting box, taking a lot of speed towards the big box. And that's a trick that got him into the finals, and that's probably the most dangerous, scariest trick you'll see all day here. It was a disaster to far side acid soul on the rail. Ben comes from a family in England. The whole family skates. His sisters, his brothers, and there's a lot of them. Their parents own a skate park out in England. And so you can see that they spend a lot of time on the skate parks. Amazing run.
Thanks, Arlo. Here's another look at the soyal, just pulling his foot back and then rocketing it out. And here, look at his feet, already in position from the second he takes off.
The judges took note. Good run for Ben Jagger, 61 points even. That ties him with Matt Salerno for the lead. And up now, the kid they call Roadhouse, Randy Spicer.
Randy's new and improved. He's about 3 inches taller, got a little more muscle on him, and he just tapped his chest to let the judges know that that was switch. That was a very clean 360, but it was his unnatural direction. He spun the opposite way he normally would.
The growing pains that a young kid experiences, does that hurt him as an inline skater, Mark?
It does take a little bit of time to acclimate your body when you're spinning or when you're airing. But once you get it, you find that you have a lot more strength.
30 seconds for Roadhouse.
Nice acid drop, jumping from the top down to the flat ground, doing a 540-degree rotation.
Roadhouse, the 1996 ASA overall street course champion.
And he's definitely getting set for something big. There he goes. It was the big air to disaster, and he tried to soul grind on it, but he missed the soul, landed on his shin. Here's a look at the alley-oop porn star, jumping around, getting his feet locked on.
And although Roadhouse didn't nail that disaster at the end, that run had an abundance of tricks. Well, here's a Charlie Chaplin lookalike with a good trick of his own. Mark, I think we'll call that the inverted finger flip crescent roll. You ever wonder how tricks get their name?
At the time that I skated, there was no official sport. There was no aggressive sport. I started in '86, and the sport didn't become a sport till '94. So there's a huge gap in there where there was no, like, sport. It was just what I did. We didn't know anything how to name a trick. It was just like, oh, hey, do that cab thing, because, you know, you do a fakie 360. We saw skateboarders do it. So some of the tricks in the beginning kind of come from skateboarding. The names, it was just because it was kind of like, oh, that was kind of looked like that rocket air, you know, that was cool, but it looks totally different. And so it doesn't necessarily deserve that name. From, I'd say, '94 on, we have tried not to name a trick after skateboarding.
Now all the new tricks that are coming out, they're all like our own little names, and we have our own little thing happening.
Tricks get invented by people. They just sit around and they like skating. All they think about is they have skating on their mind like all day, and then they'll think of what can I do next.
It's crazy. People that you would never expect to come up with new tricks, come up with the most innovative tricks. It just comes out of nowhere.
There'll be kids that'll make up the trick, but it doesn't get noticed until someone, quote unquote, has a big name, and then that's kind of how it happens. You'll see it in a magazine, and then a lot of kids will be doing it and stuff, and pretty much whoever makes up the trick kind of gets to name the trick, I guess.
I'd never have named my tricks.
I haven't named any tricks.
I'm not really sure how trick names come about.
Someone just sits there and says, hey, that's a sunny back shine, and you're like, yeah, it is.
My favorite trick name would have to be probably porn star.
I like porn stars. Porn star, that's funny.
The wackiest or craziest name that we've ever probably come up with was Camel Toe and Melvin.
Most of the names tend to be really silly.
Farfanugan.
Alley-oop Macchio. Fish brain, what's that? I mean, come on.
And that's how the tricks are born.
What's Matt Mance got in his bag of tricks? We'll find out after this. Back here at Universal Studios, Florida, and more of the Ultimate Inline Challenge. You know, the street course competition has brought together the top names in this sport and also the best of the young guns, like 16-year-old Matty Mance and 16-year-old Randy Roadhouse Pfizer and 15-year-old Aaron Feinberg.
This competition is like the first competition that every good skater has been here. I think anybody could win, basically. Anybody can win this competition. I think Aaron Feinberg's going to do really good, though. Because he, like, came out of nowhere, and he's, like, all dope. He's, like, really good. I think he'll do really good.
Well, Matt Mance is certainly capable of doing very well and winning this contest. He is up now, getting ready for his first run, dropping in.
He's heading fast.
And big, whoa, almost pulls off the 720.
That is so hard to land. He went so huge. You just don't know where you're going to go until the last possible second when your head whips around. Nice, solid soul grind.
Another youngster whose coordination is catching up with his rapid growth. He used to be much like Aaron Feinberg, just a little wisp of a youngster, 5 feet tall and 90 pounds himself.
He only spent a few minutes on the course before the preliminaries, and he looked kind of bummed out. And I came up to him and I asked him, and he said, you know, just don't feel right. My spins aren't working, nothing's happening. I'm growing, and I can feel my body growing. But he put it all together to make it to the finals. They're just missing a grind, not getting enough height. And he looks frustrated, just goofing around now.
So Matty will mail the rest of this run in and hope for a better second run.
He started off big. He did a 360 and then a late 360. Just couldn't find the landing. And that's what happens if you don't jump up on top of the planter. You're just going to slap your legs against the side.
Matt's score not good by his standards, 54.4. Up next is Josh Petty. And Mark, you're familiar with this young kid. Earlier this year in March, he won the X Trials in Providence.
He came out so unbelievably strong with huge airs, but more importantly, some of the little technical subtle tricks. He put 2 tricks together multiple times to win. He not only qualified for the X Games, but he also set a high level of competition for this whole year. And he's starting off on the other side of the course, getting a little creative. Nice wall ride to 180. Oh, and then a stall on the wall to 360 off. Two very difficult tricks back to back, very creative.
The X Games this year in San Diego, where he lives, but originally Josh from right here in Orlando. He's got a lot of friends in the stands, and that's got to help, Mark.
Yeah, playing in front of your hometown always gets you going. Arlo actually won the X Games last year, I think in part because his mother was there cheering him on. Josh having to adjust his skate. Looks like his buckle came open. Nice frontward kind grind. That's a very difficult grind. Getting up sideways. There's a topside acid sole.
Right now, Ben Jagger and Matt Salerno have the score to beat, 61 points even.
And here, this is going to be his last trick. Trying a backside grind, getting a little old school. Early in his run, he gets up, gets sideways on the wall, and uses his momentum, the 360 off. And here, very subtle, but he moves his legs into two different grab positions.
And the judges took notice. Josh's score, 61.2, puts him in the lead. But the street story not fully written yet. Still to sign in, 90-pound Aaron Feinberg. Here at Universal Studios, Florida, pedestrian tourists taking in the sights. But coming up here at the Ultimate Inline Challenge, some humans will take flight as the aggressive inline skaters go for high air. The motto, go big or go home. That's the high air competition coming up later. Right now, the focus is on our street course competition. The leader, Josh Petty, but waiting in the wings, Aaron Feinberg. He is just 15 years old.
Everyone seems to be pretty cool with it. I just skate, and we all treat each other like equals, basically.
Aaron not only young, but small, just 4'8" and 90 pounds.
He is skating like a bullet. Big late 180. That was a gap transfer from one box to the other. It's called a late 180 because he actually didn't do the 180 rotation until the last possible second. Oh, perfect.
Nice backslide grind.
And there's the size. He's going up and kicking the wall. I'll ride it next year. Nice, Savannah. That's a beautiful, very technical, difficult grind, getting backwards. Legs all tangled up on purpose.
You know, you can't see with that long T-shirt on, but he has a cast on his right wrist.
He wasn't even sure he was going to come and compete. He had to go get it looked at a couple days ago. And it's a good thing he did come. Look at him here, 270 onto the rail, nice soul grind. He's just so talented, all over the course, all different types of tricks. I have a strong feeling this kid is going to really revolutionize the sport over the next couple of years. Look at the guts. 180, the last moment, and then a perfect grind, 1 foot.
Well, it certainly caught the judges' attention. Aaron's score, 61.6, and he takes the lead. This was the first run of 19-year-old Brian Bell from San Diego, California. He had some big moments, Mark, but he had a fall during the course of that first run.
Yeah, he showed that if he just puts it all together, he's going to really dominate. Here, with a beautiful wall ride, and then he tries the Misty Flip, but he gets caught up on his toes, just slides to his knees.
Another skater who experienced first-run problems, Dion Anthony, 17 years old, Melbourne, Australia. If this kid gets off to a good start, he's great, but if not, watch out.
Yeah, he pulled off the 540 very clean, and then he just fell over as if he was wearing super hard wheels. Then the frustration set in. Here, he goes for the grind. He's on it. Now he's not, and he goes down pretty hard. The frustration killing him, hoping for a much stronger second run.
So we're halfway home, and the competition extremely close. Just 0.6 of a point separate first from fourth. Will the young guns prevail, or will 19-year-old Matt Salerno win his second consecutive street competition title? We'll find out later, but coming up next, the aggressive inline skaters will dare to get high air. Stay with us.